post left. Valoria flips it up and in!
Sir Orlan Lamar, but Lamar gets the step and the finish.
Hail Mary. June Manzo will fire.
Oh my goodness!
June Manzo all the way from
Serrano, Bebuelo, Serrano with the basket. Fuentes, no hesitation, gets it to go!
No!
Obisto, yeah! Jason Obisto with the putback!
We continue our coverage here of the Maharlika Pilipinas Basketball League dito po sa Paco Arena in Manila. And for the second game of our Friday triple header, it's a battle between two heavyweights. Basilan trying to snap out of their early season funk. They will go up against the surging Abra Weavers. And this should be a fun one between these two squads. Magandang gabi mga kaliga. Ken Pangilinan alongside Coach Mike Perez. And at courtside we have Miss Lyra Punsalan. Coach, ever since itong Abra lost that game against Pasay, they cruise to 3 straight victories. Pero masusubukan sila ngayon laban dito sa Basilan, searching for that signature win.
Well, if there's one thing about Abra, clearly they took personal that loss against Pasay because everything else really just leveled up after that loss. Samantala, dito sa side ng Basilan, masusubukan ulit kung gaano ba sila katatag pagdating sa mga top teams.
Literally is the battle between the North and the South, Abra versus Basilan. Ngayon pag-usapan natin itong magkabilang kupunan na ito. No? Unahin na natin itong Basilan Viva Port Masters. And like we mentioned, Coach Mike, no, it's been a rocky start for them. They're trying to find the right mix. Pero dito, they got a bit of a reprieve when they traveled to Mindoro. They went up against the Bulacan Cuyas. And the youngsters of the Viva Port Masters were really instrumental in this win against the Cuyas.
Yeah, and when you dominate the paint against Basilan, you know, it's going to be tough to beat them. Five guys actually in double digits, led by Tempra, who had 10, Larupay had 20, Dagangon had 18 and 15, and you really just see that plus 10 in offensive rebounds. That was key, in my opinion, because it led to 60 paints in the point for Basilan, and you know the bench points came up really big. They're 62 versus 38.
And they know they are just one big win away from really finding their groove, but it will not be easy going up against the Abra Weavers na nung laban nila, Coach Mike, against Rizal, this was a highly anticipated matchup. Rizal was undefeated coming into this game, but boy, Abra making a statement on the home floor of the Golden Coolers.
At yung statement na nila nagsisimula, hindi sa opensa, kundi sa depensa. Talagang length of the floor, papahirapan ka. And so far, they've really benefited from the strong start, in my opinion, of Raven Gonzalez, who in the previous game had 8 of the 21 points in the first quarter. He was really big alongside Enzo, who also had 6 in that quarter alone. Well, you know, really good percentage, 49% shooting, 44 total rebounds. But how about the 44 points in the paint? And look at the bench points. That's a plus 30 in favor of Abra Weavers. Just shows you the depth of the roster and the rotation of the Abra Weavers.
Abra basically dominating Rizal in that matchup, and now they seek their 4th straight victory. But Basilan, dangerous as they come, naghahanap pa rin nung panalo, no, na makapagbigay buwelo para sa kanila in this campaign of theirs.
Yeah, and napakahalaga na makakuha sila ng isang very convincing na panalo against a really tough team, because I'm sure in their minds we're getting near that win and we gotta get it now against Abra, because if they do, it sets off a different precedent, in my opinion, internally for the Basilan team.
And these two squads really loaded with a lot of talent, and that's why talagang kaabang-abang itong matchup na ito. And now let's turn you over to Richard Campos for the starting lineups of Abra and Basilan.
The 2025 Manny Pacquiao's MPBL Season 7. Here are the starters. Beginning with Basilan Viva Port Masters. At forward number 8, Sherwin Concepcion. The other forward number 16, Adi Santos. Playing center number 21, Raba Al Husseini. Two guard number 19, the poker, Eman Calo. And at point guard number 74, Jeff Biernes. The head coach is Mac Tan, assisted by Melo Navarro, Rob Labagala, Arnel Siab, and Chilito Caro. Assistant Team Manager Timothy Pua, Team Manager Rich Alvarez. Now starting for Abra, Solid North Weavers. Playing as center number 55, Yusef Taha. At forward number 9, Raven Gonzalez. Two guard number 6, Jason Apolonio. Point guard number 4, Marwin Taiwan. And at forward number 1, Dave Ildefonso. The head coach is Yong Garcia. His assistants are Denok Miranda, Don Uro, and Excel Balenya. The team owners, Cap Jaja Bernos and co-mayor JB Bernos.
The starting five brought to you by 1xBet, the title sponsor of the MPBL. 1xBet, your choice, your victory. Feel more game with 1xBet. Basilan with a backcourt of Jeff Viernes and Eman Calo up front, Raba Al-Husseini, Sherwin Concepcion, and Adi Santos. For Abra, Marwin Taiwan, Jason Apolonio, Yusef Taha, Raven Gonzalez, and Dave Ildefonso. Dave Ildefonso has started in all 6 of their games so far and making his 7th straight start for the Weavers. And the tip going to the side of Abra. Ildefonso has really found his groove in his last 3 games. And that continues, lays it up and in, getting past Eman Calo.
And he's really just had his will in putting the ball on the floor and trying to attack inside the paint. But, you know, if you're Basilan now, you got to be mindful and make it very uncomfortable for Dave Ildefonso to even start creating anything. Hold on.
Oh, may problema tayo dito Hindi yata gumalaw yung ating game clock.
Right. Parang bumalik sa 10 no?
Yeah. So our table officials will sort it out. Coach Yong Garcia in his 2nd season with Abra actually came in midway last year. But now with Coach Macta naman for Basilan. And we'll pause for a break. We'll be back after this.
Para sa 100% pag-unlad, 50 si Manny. Para sa 100% pagbabago, 50 si Manny. Para sa 100% paglilingkod, 50 si Manny. Kanipaya. Para sa 100% Pinas, 50 ka.
50 tayo! 50 si MP! Kahati mo, si Manny!
Okay. So, I think babalik sila dito sa possession right after the jump ball. So, mukhang yung basket kanina ni Dave Ildefonso will be nullified.
Because it was at that point that the clock stopped.
Actually, totally sa jump ball circle ulit tayo. Center circle.
Yeah, and so this is like a reset here with the clock malfunction.
And that's why si Dave is having an argument with our game officials here. Kasi live play yun
Right. As you see, official Jojo Belnas explaining to Coach Emer Oreta on what happened.
Let's see, because
Dave, nakashoot na si David.
yeah, nakashoot na.
That's the contention actually of the Weavers. And the game got stopped after nung basket niya. I think yun yung perspective ng Abra Weavers.
Okay, we'll have a break again. We'll be back.
Para sa 100% pag-unlad, 15 si Manny. Para sa 100% pagbabago, 15 si Manny. Para sa 100% paglilingkod, 15 si Manny. Manny Pacquiao. Para sa 100% Pinas,
50 tayo! 50 si MP! Kahati mo, si Manny!
Para sa atletang Pilipino.
Para sa kabataang Pilipino.
Para sa kababaihan, para sa pamilyang Pilipino.
Para sa kinabukasan. At ito po ang MPBL Party List number 77 sa balota.
Lagi mong sinisiguradong patas. Lagi mong inuuna kung anong dapat. Hindi mo kayang malunok ang katotohanang marami pa rin tayong kababayang gutom at walang tahanan. Kaya hindi ka tumigil sa paglaban. Harapin ang kahirapan. Tulungan ang nangangailangan. Basagin ang korupsyon na kanilang nakasanayan. Sa loob at labas, man ng Pinas, bakas na bakas ang iyong tapang puksain ang mga problema ng bansa. Gamit ang lakas, gamit ang isip, gamit ang puso. Kung para sa mamamayang Pilipino, si MP, wala yang sinisino. Manny Pacquiao.
Manny Pacquiao. 50 tayo. Para sa 100% pag-unlad, 15 si Manny. Para sa 100% pagbabago, 15 si Manny. Para sa 100% paglilingkod, 15 si Manny Pacquiao. Para sa 100% Pinas,
50 tayo! 50 si MP! Kahati mo, si Manny!
Para sa atletang Pilipino.
Para sa kabataang Pilipino.
Para sa kababaihan, para sa pamilyang Pilipino.
Para sa kinabukasan. At ito po ang MPBL Party List number 77 sa balota.
Lagi mong sinisiguradong patas. Lagi mong inuuna kung anong dapat. Hindi mo kayang malunok ang katotohanang marami pa rin tayong kababayang gutom at walang tahanan. Kaya hindi ka tumigil sa paglaban. Harapin ang kahirapan. Tulungan ang nangangailangan. Basagin ang korupsyon na kanilang nakasanayan. Sa loob at labas, man ng Pinas, bakas na bakas ang iyong tapang puksa.
Alright, we will re-jump. So yung mga kaganapan kanina, virtually non-existent muna yon dahil
Right.
nag-malfunction yung game clock. But nonetheless, Abra wins the tip here. Let's see if they run the same play. This is Dave Ildefonso. Again, he drives. And this time, he draws a foul.
Parang groundhog day yun. It happened again. No? Pero dito, masanda na sila. You know, you gotta stop Dave Ildefonso. It's either you make him give up that ball or unfortunately you foul him, which happened in that case para dito sa Basilan.
Marvin Taiwan, bullet pass to Jason Apolonio. Steps back, takes that outside
man.
shot. That's a three-pointer for Jason Apolonio.
And Jason Apolonio, I feel, has found a home in making shots from the outside. And he's very comfortable taking them.
Eman Calo gets it to Jeff Viernes.
Nice
Lets
fake.
Taiwan fly by, but that one pops out. Ildefonso able to recover.
Those are a couple of good shots actually from both itong Basilan at saka Abra Weavers.
Apolonio laban kay Sherwin Concepcion. Gonzalez offering that screen. 6 seconds on their shot clock. Apolonio from the right wing. This time it's a miss.
Good defensive stop right there para sa Basilan. Not just allowing them to take shots without any challenge. Eman Calo missed that three.
Ball ends up with Jason Apolonio. Ildefonso, pull-up jumper, bounces out. Rebound, Raba Al-Husseini. Great cut, Adi Santos able to beat everyone for the basket.
That I feel is really one of the reasons why you have an Adi Santos. He's a big man that can do perimeter defense, run an open court, and just do aggressive rim runs. Look at him trying to seal down against Raven Gonzalez right here.
Gonzalez able to poke that ball free. Ildefonso is gone on the other end.
And so finally for Abra, after a couple of very, I guess, uncomfortable offensive sequence, now they've gotten into their rhythm. Open floor basketball as they try to push that ball ahead, trying to see if they have options out in the open floor without that defense having set up.
Number 4 team in the league in terms of fast break points, 20.5 per ball game. Itong Abra Weavers. Apolonio draws a foul against Sherwin Concepcion. I think that's going to be his second one.
You see Apolonio right there holding on to his face.
Fast break the game brought to you by Extreme X Pop, personal karaoke speaker every day karaoke.
Diyan talaga yung advantage ng ni Dave Ildefonso, open floor.
Yeah. Actually, unang foul lang ni Concepcion. It was Calo who was called for the personal earlier. And you mentioned, Jason Apolonio, finding some comfort here playing with Abra. He won a championship with Pampanga. Then here, yung initial game niya, played limited minutes. But particularly in his last 2 games, 10 points against Marikina, 12 points naman laban sa Rizal. Ito yung hataw sa mukha.
And the reason that I say na komportable si Jason Apolonio because in the last game is actually 2 out of 3 from the 3-point area. Yeah. And so, to have that much makes and attempts, meron ba nagsisimula magandang shooting rhythm para dito kay Jason Apolonio? We don't know. So see a 3 right there.
Sherwin Concepcion gets the bounce. That's the lead down to 2-7-5.
And when you look at kung 3 points ang pag-uusapan, mas maraming attempts sa 3 points itong Basilan. They're getting 8 more attempts versus that of Abra. But they are making almost the same, roughly about 7 3-pointers a game. Oh, a steal! Oh no!
Look out below, Dave Ildefonso with a slam!
Boy, and Dave Ildefonso really is the one guy who sets up the game for the Abra Weavers. A really strong start and just yung aggressiveness niya, and the drive to really start this game real strong.
But you like the demeanor so far of Basilan. Calm, cool, and collected. You saw Adi Santos drill in that mid-range jumper. They got the lead down to 2, 9-7. As this is also a big-time matchup. Yusuf Taha and Raba Al-Husseini.
Well, if you look at it, as you see this steal right here by Dave Ildefonso, really out in the open and flushing it down real quick.
Gixer, great move of the game. Born for greatness.
Raise the roof pa.
Oh.
It's like his dad.
And he has really gained a lot of following dito sa MPBL.
Oh, yeah.
You remember after that game against Rizal, talagang dinumog siya ng tao
Yeah.
after their win. But here, he turns the ball over. Eman Calo, one-hander off the glass, wala. Tatakbo na naman dito ang Abra. Gonzalez could not catch that pass from Marvin Taiwan. Jack Cruz Tumon also in after starting in their game against Rizal. Pinalta niya muna si Jason Apolonio. Concepcion, no hesitation. Rebound, Raven Gonzalez.
And again, hindi ka nagugulat doon sa mga three-pointers na tinitira nitong Basilan because they get a huge chunk of their shots from there. And, you know, if they're gonna miss shots from there, they have to be ready defensively then because that would result in long rebounds and you don't want to trigger the Abra Weavers start their fast break because of those missed threes.
James Tempra is in for Basilan. Jeff Viernes sends it to Eman Calo on the right side against David Defonso. Steps back, puts up a shot, no good. Cruz Dumont the rebound.
Immediately they're pushing. Kita mo yung depensa ng Basilan, nakababa ka agad no?
Cruz Dumont against Sherwin Concepcion. Off the curl, Marvin Taiwan. Bouncing it to Yusuf Taha.
Wow.
Oh, what a pass! Raven Gonzalez, basket and one!
I was just about to say, except for that particular sequence, it's been tough to dribble penetrate inside para sa Abra Weavers because of the defense of Basilan. But this time around, it's the big men that actually work inside, and Raven Gonzalez continues to have that initiative and that instinct to just go up and take that shot.
We have the game brought to you by 1xBet, the title sponsor of the MPBL. 1xBet, your choice, your victory. Feel more game with 1xBet.
Tsaka yung mga games na, yung mga last two games na pinanalo nito ng Abra Weavers, very critical yung strong start rin production-wise ni Raven Gonzalez.
And he has been a revelation so far for Abra. Eman Calo, sidestep free, short, running start for David Defonso. Again!
man!
Oh my goodness!
Oh my!
David Defonso, the rim rocker!
Oh man! Well, me and Sidel, after their last game, we talked about David Defonso. And we said in the post-era of Balti Baltasar, David Defonso might just be the next star in the MPBL.
And signature of the house with a block by Raven Gonzalez.
Oh no, we got one more.
Cruz Dumont for free, no good. Rebound ends up with Adi Santos, but boy, Dave Ildefonso. Early fireworks here in the first quarter.
And if you got a starter that shows you so much energy from the get-go, no wonder the Abra Weavers are one of the strongest starting teams in the game.
Throw it down with bad intentions. Dave Ildefonso. Second jam of the night. Abra is ahead 13-7.
And make no mistake about it. Itong Abra Weavers, this is a scary team. Especially when you look at how they performed against the Rizal team. I mean, Rizal in that game was the #1 offensive team, averaging roughly about 91 points per game. But they really made it tough for Rizal to get anything going in that game.
And Coach Mike, ever since yung talo nung Abra laban sa Pasay, their last 3 games, they won that by an average margin of 26.7 points.
Right.
And, you know, given naman sa Bulacan Kuyas, they're struggling. They won by 45, particularly those last 2 games against Jensen. This was here in Paco. They had that 20-point win. And then laban naman sa Rizal, then where they won by 15 points. Alfred Batino. Oh, no, not much resistance, but blows the layup.
Now, if you're Basilan, you actually like where you are right now. With so much things going on in this game, you are still just down by this much, by 5 points.
Actually, 4 na lang.
4 na lang, di ba? So, nakikita mo na you just gotta weather the storm and be consistent through the next play. You gotta play the next ball.
Joshua David back to Cruz Dumont. 3-point shot finally drops for Jack Cruz Dumont.
And people have said if there is one knock on the total team game of the Abra Weavers is the 3-point makes. They're actually averaging just 29%, 6 makes on 22 attempts. But tonight, maganda ang production nila dito. They're 2 out of 5.
How about Gab Dagangon? Cool as ice, 4 straight points for the former perpetual standout.
No surprises. Gab Dagangon is the 3rd leading scorer para dito sa Basilan with roughly about 10.8 points a game. And every time you allow him that look, he will not hesitate to take those jumpers.
Enzo Navarro napituan ng foul doon. Basilan down by 5. Ito yung 3-point shot ni Jack Cruz Dumont, and it's brought to you by Extreme, your one-stop shop appliances.
Actually, may tira na dun si Joshua David, but you know, you gotta find another guy that's least guarded, which in that case happens to be Cruz Dumont.
John Oduba at the line, played for Olivares College. And by the way, congratulations to Coach Mike Sagigit.
Yep.
Finally winning a championship for the Sea Lions after 5 tries.
Oo, totoo. It took what, 5 tries before he got that cup. And you like the different players that actually have risen for them, for the Sea Lions. I mean, you know, you talk about Alan Vergara, the son of and you know, it's just so much joy for a coach like Coach Mike Sagigi to be able to win that championship. Jervy Cruz.
Yeah. Wait. What's the call here? Because Jervy Cruz took a shot, fell down on the floor. That was from beyond the arc.
That's a technical. I think that's on the landing spot.
Ah, sa landing spot.
Because he was leaning towards that shot by Jervy Cruz. And yun yung nagpapahirap pagka si Jervy Cruz yung kalaban mo. Kasi pag nakuha niya yung bola sa taas, you don't know if he's immediately going to rise or he's gonna trigger a side weave on the other side of the floor to try and swing it.
Technical foul, interesting. Because usually unsportsmanlike foul yung tinatawag dyan.
That's right.
But, you know, our game officials know better.
And so they'll get this free throw and the possession.
Jervy Cruz did not play in the last game when Basilan visited Mindoro and defeated the Bulacan Cuyas.
Yeah, actually he played only for 3 games. A series right here.
Yep. Slid in and did not give room for Jervy Cruz to land after taking that shot.
Pero ang pino-point out kasi ng Abra Weavers is nakaspread naman yung legs ni ni Oduba. Jervy Cruz once again.
Now he'll head to the line for 2 free throws. Jervy Cruz.
And I feel Jervy Cruz is really trying to make up for lost time. He played in the 3 games that he played. He started once. It's roughly about 16 minutes per game and a good 7 points and 5 rebounds.
LGR is the official outfitter of the MPBL. Jervy Cruz.
Yeah, alam mo naman si Jervy, range meron yan.
Oh naman.
When he played last season for the South Cotabato Warriors, you know, his threes helped spread that floor for Coach Elvis Tolentino.
His wife watching, si Mrs. Cat Cruz. Always supportive of Jervy. Joshua David whips a pass to Alfred Batino. He got clobbered while trying to make his move.
Ganda rin yung timing ng movement na yon as Joshua David tried to snake that 2-man game and then fed it off to Batino, who was diving the left side of the floor.
Penalty na ang Basilan, so Alfred Batino will shoot 2 free throws. The Cebuano in his 2nd consecutive season with Abra. Average 8.1 points and 6.7 rebounds last year. And this yung kanyang pangalawa.
At yung numbers niya ngayon this season is down. He's only averaging 4 points per game, pero for a good reason, because you've got help from the other big guys like Raven Gonzalez. That's a travel right there by Gab.
Kasi si Raven Gonzalez, really, that production came out of nowhere. Although alam naman natin yung pedigree nito, no, having played for LaSalle, as we had a glimpse of Coach Mactan for Basilan. Pero, if he skipped his last playing year, supposedly, for the Green Archers, but now he's really thriving well under the system of Coach Yong Garcia.
Well, that really is because Raven Gonzalez does extra work. I think the coaching staff of the Abra Weavers have really dedicated time for Raven to try and do extra work. And it's worked a lot for his offensive side of the game because perimeter shooting is above the 50% level, and that's pretty good for a big man.
Dave Ildefonso, he struggled in his first 3 games, but in his last 3, Coach Mike, grabe pinapakita nito. 16 points per game. That's normal, but the shooting numbers, 69%,
Correct.
50% from the outside, and 80% from the free throw line. So talagang efficiency niya really went up a total level dito. Totally whole new level dito.
Yeah, and if you go back to that game where they won after that loss to Pasay, his first message in that interview as the best player of the game was that, bumawi siya. Because he understood that, very poor shooting offensive game for him is not gonna cut it, especially if you're playing for the Abra Weavers.
Dagangon now with 6 points. Basilan just right in there. Only behind by 5, 20-15.
Look at those cuts. Those really sharp cuts by the Abra Weavers.
But Mahari trying to keep in step with Encho Serrano.
That's
Patino, the flyby. One-hander short. Ball ends up with James Tempra.
Everything but the shot make right there in that situation.
Pasturan gets it to Gab Dagangon.
Chance to make this a 2-point game even.
Dagangon, no good. Tempra gets blocked again by Raven Gonzalez.
Pangklase yung timing ni Raven Gonzalez defensively. He is the leading shot blocker of the Abra Weavers at 2.3 per game.
Serrano in traffic, traveled.
That time around, medyo masikip para dito kay Encho Serrano. You would rather see him create of a double gap or triple gap where you have so much space than it is to go inside through traffic, especially going up against the big guys.
Basilan has a chance here to score on the last possession. 12 seconds remaining in quarter number 1. Pasturan. Oh, great pass. Tempra cuts and scores. Second remaining that he will not work. First quarter comes to an end. Abra threw the first punch, but Basilan just swinging for the fences here, Coach Mike, staying within striking distance.
Yep, within striking distance, Basilan is keeping themselves right here. Weathered the storm of that really strong start, a couple of slams that we saw from Dave Ildefonso, but Basilan says, nope, we're gonna go back to defense and execute better offensively. And right now, they're only down 3.
And the Viva Port Masters, despite the early fireworks of Dave Ildefonso, have kept their composure. And now they're just down by 3 at the end of quarter number 1, 20-17.
both coming from wins and a solid thirst for yet again another victory are both Abra Weavers and Basilan Port Masters. Alam naman natin na hindi basta-basta ang Abra sa kanilang hustle at depensa, lalo na with Enzo Serrano and David Alfonso taking up the lead in their team. Para kay Coach, ang solidong galawan at disiplinadong execution talaga ang laging tinatrabaho nila, not leaving crumbs for past lapses as much as possible at doble effort din daw ang lahat sa training dahil alam naman nila na isa sila sa mga team to beat sa liga. Back to you guys.
Maraming salamat, Laika. What do you think of the execution of Abra, particularly in that game against Rizal, where, as we see here, Gab Tagangon score on that three-pointer to tie the ball game up at 20 apiece. Yung execution nila laban sa Rizal, who came in na with a lot of momentum, but Abra led by as many as 26 points at grabe yung pinakita nila doon.
Yeah, I think it really starts defensively para dito sa Abra Weavers. You only allowed so many attempts for 67 attempts para dito sa Rizal Golden Coolers. They did have 26 makes, pero yung quality ng shots talagang pinahirapan rin naman talaga nitong Abra Weavers. And so we talked about it in that coverage. You see a pushing foul here on Gab Dagangon. Talked about it in that game as I was covering that with Sedelf, that while the Abra Weavers are getting their energy from the defensive side of the floor, Rizal takes it on the offensive side. With that taken out of the game, nahirapan makarecover.
Three-point shot brought to you by Extreme, your one-stop shop appliances. Ito yung tres na pinakawalan ni Gab Dagangon. Nakita nyo kanina, no? Yung field goal shooting, both shooting above 40%. 6 out of 15 po. Yung Abra, 7 out of 17 naman yung Basilan in the first quarter. That's how close this game has been as Abra turns the ball over.
Tsaka alam mo, mabigat dun sa game na yon for the Abra Weavers. Those 9 made threes are, above their normal average of roughly about 6. And so if you're defending that good and playing real good field goal makes from threes, you're gonna be a tough team to beat. That's why, from the outside looking in, it's gonna be really scary to go up against a very determined Abra Weavers.
But Basilan does not look scared right now.
Agreed.
They are keeping in step. Actually, they're executing flawlessly as you saw James Tembra swoop in and score off that feed from Jimboy Pasturan.
And which is what you love about Basilan right now. You talked about composure earlier in the first quarter, which is exactly what we've seen from Basilan. The defense has been rotating, but they're making shots.
Assist of the game brought to you by 1xBet, the title sponsor of the MPBL. 1xBet, your choice, your victory. Feel more game with 1xBet. James Tembra, back-to-back baskets. And we are tied 22-all. We'll pause for a break.
Para sa 100%'ong pag-unlad, 15 si Manny. Para sa 100%'ong pagbabago, 15 si Manny. Para sa 100%'ong paglilingkod, 15 si Manny. Para sa 100%'ong Pinas,
50 tayo! 50 si FB! Kahati mo, si Manny!
Gab Dagangon, laban sa Bulacan, had 18 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists, hit 2 threes. All-around performance for Gab. And here, so far, has been really solid. Knocked down a 3. Already has a total of 9 points to lead all scorers for Basilan.
And Basilan is really getting their flow on assists. That's where they're getting a lot of their production. They have what? A +5 advantage, 10 versus 5 over Abra. As Abra kasi steal and then one-on-one finish to the cup. But really a lot of ball and man movement, lalo na yung mga sets nila here on that roller for Basilan.
Lahat ng field goal makes nila coming off an assist.
That's right.
And that was really the case against Bulacan. They had 39 assists on 42 made field goals. But, the question coming in was, can they sustain that going up against a top caliber team in Abra? And so far, it's been the case.
Yeah.
And now they force a shot clock violation against the Weavers.
This game is actually a very well played defensively game. You look at the offensive rebound, there's only one offensive rebound for both these teams. Ang daming pwede makakuha ng offensive rebounds dito, but the defense is not allowing that. Once you get up a shot, somebody's gonna locate you and gonna prevent you from getting a second chance opportunity because they're securing the defensive rebound.
Turnover count, nakita nyo kanina. Gab Dagangon gets fouled while firing from the outside.
That's a tough one right there. Gab Dagangon really just elevated out of nowhere, taking that shot, catching a late reaction for Encho Serrano.
This free throw of the game brought to you by Extreme Appliances, ang subok at kumpletong appliance brand ng Pilipinas.
It's 10 points already for Gab.
And he was really instrumental in their very first win of the season against Val City. When things looked bleak there, Coach Mike, he was able to deliver in the fourth quarter and in overtime.
Kaya hindi ka naman magugulat na itong si Gab Dagangon is actually the third leading scorer para dito sa Basilan. Of course, you all know that the leading is right now it's he shares it with Cabagnot with 10.9, but they don't have a Cabagnot right now.
Actually, si Cabagnot saka si Arwin Santos not in uniform for the second straight game for the Viva Port Masters. But they are ahead now, 24-22. Pasturan, confident-looking shot off the heel though. But Tempra, that effort rewarded.
One more.
Swing pass, Mahari. Lays it up, doesn't get the bounce. Tempra again in the vicinity and draws a foul after getting another offensive rebound.
Well, believe it or not, that's just the second offensive rebound para dito sa Basilan. Why was he able to locate that offensive rebound? It's because there were two guys on the ball on that drive by Mahari, leaving that short rebound for the Basilan team. That was Tempra, right?
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Baseline inbound para sa mga nakaputi. Basilan. Hand off ni Tempra, pupunta kay Pasturan, but Jimboy caught stepping on the sideline.
Now, itong Abra, they have the tendency to score in the 20s every quarter. And so you have to defend against that. First quarter, they got 20. Move on to the next. You got to prevent them from getting 20 because otherwise, it will only mean scorers are getting to the cup just like that one.
Dipsy-do from Encho Serrano. Acrobatic finish. Ties the ball game up at 24 apiece.
Encho Serrano off the bench is now 1 out of 3 from there.
3 minutes gone by in the second quarter. Gab Dagangon draws another foul from Encho Serrano. And those two going at it. We have the game brought to you by 1xBet, the title sponsor of the MPBL. 1xBet, your choice, your victory. Feel more game with 1xBet.
Aga rin ang pagkaka-elevate dun sa tira na yun ni Encho. 3 on its way.
Jerby Cruz, good-looking stroke. 3-point lead for Basilan.
Wala namang question dyan sa 3-point shooting ni Jerby Cruz. Oh, man!
That's a goaltend.
Yeah, that's a goaltend right there.
Pero sabi nila, si Yusuf Taha daw, yung sumabit. Review.
They're gonna review this, right. They're gonna review this. But how about that move, though, by Encho?
Yep. Able to split two defenders.
Oh. I think that was John.
Parang si John Mahari.
Parang si John, no?
Yeah.
See that again.
Ito, better angle. Yeah, it was him.
Yeah, it's John, right.
Malinaw na malinaw on that replay.
Mostly itong si Encho Serrano, he tries to drive that left side of the floor. He loves spinning middle to attack the cup.
Pasturan. Taiwan trying to keep in step. Intercepted by Encho Serrano. Off to the races. Going right at Eman Calo. And draws a foul. Eman obviously does not agree with that last call.
And then he's actually asking for the officials to review it. Well, yung momentum pababa para kay Encho Serrano, mahirap na rin talaga pigilan
Oo.
pag ganun eh, di ba?
Full head of steam.
Yep.
Very athletic.
Yep. And as we see, Eman Calo continues to plead his case against the officials. He's given a warning here.
Rich Alvarez, the manager of the Basilan Viva Port Masters. First free throw is good for Encho.
And much as Encho Serrano was the one who ended up, see that, those numbers right there, 16 points on 6 of 13 shooting. And yung efficiency sa threes, that really created a difference in that game for Encho Serrano.
And you know, Coach Mike, it's going to be interesting how well Encho Serrano and Dave Ildefonso play well off each other as the season progresses for Abra.
Right. Ang question lang naman dyan is that, yeah, you got really good pieces together in one team, but how do you make them work together?
Cruz, the shimmy. The shot does not work. Rebound tracked down by Dave Ildefonso. Abra down by 1. Under 6 minutes remaining. Ildefonso against John Mahari. Sends it to Encho Serrano. Marquis offering that screen. One-hander by Encho. Way off. And ball will go back to Basilan.
And Encho Serrano knew that he had missed a good opportunity to score there. One, Carlos' defense got stifled by that screen by Marquis. Tumama yung screen. Nakapunta siya sa elbow, sa favorite shot niya na floaters. We see Sir JB Bernos right there for the Abra Weavers.
Eman Calo, stop and pop jumper to give Basilan a 3-point lead.
And they really are just in there, hanging in, and not really amazed at all with everything that's been going on.
Double foul against James Tempra and Yusuf Taha, battling for position down low.
Mas matangkal si Taha, pero ibang klase rin yung compete.
Ibang klase din naman yung pinakawalang tira dito ni Eman Calo.
Mga ganun, mga off a curl, 2 triple pull-up, mga paborito ni Eman Calo yan. Kahit dati pa.
Oo. Baseline inbound. Encho, binigay muna kay Marwin Taiwan, laban kay Jeff Viernes. Good screen offered by Yusuf Taha, who tries to seal down low, pero hindi siya nahanap na kanyang kakampi. So it's Encho Serrano, drops it at the last second. Dave Ildefonso, fadeaway jumper, wala. Bagsak si Marquis, at si Eman Calo, walang pito. Replay on!
This is the kind of game that you want, Players going down the ball for the loose ball.
That's light hesitation, although Calo caught warding off with his left arm.
I think they're gonna ask for a review on this one.
Challenge ba ng coaching staff ng Basilan? Kasi pangatlong foul na yan ni Eman Calo.
Yeah, I think they're gonna challenge this.
Yeah.
They're gonna want to review this. Well, on two things. The hope to make that basket count or to save the third foul of Eman Calo.
Yun yung mabigat eh. You want to avoid Eman Calo committing that third foul here in the first half. Basilan doing well and will await the result of the challenge. We'll pause for a break.
The challenge made by Basilan is unsuccessful. Offensive foul on Eman Calo.
Kiss yung coach's challenge ng Basilan.
Tingnan natin.
This was against Dave.
Oh yeah,
Sapul.
that's right. That's definitely an offensive foul. Kasi dito sa vantage point natin parang wala no?
So, Eman Calo, staying right in character, still not agreeing with the call. But nonetheless, Basilan on the run here. After that miss by Abra, foul will be called against Mark Yee.
Yeah, and I feel it's a good ploy to try and run against the Weavers at this point. You have Taha and Marquis in there going up against Al Husseini and Adi Santos. I feel maybe Al Husseini would be a little bit late in transition, but you have Mahari and Adi Santos. That duo, when they played for Zamboanga, was really scary defensively, I tell you, especially in open floor.
And those two made a finals appearance back in Season 4. Zamboanga, when they faced off against Nueva Ecija. Viernes, 1 out of 2 from the line. Basilan though, abante ng 4 na puntos, 30-26. Ildefonso.
Ganda ng depensa ng Basilan.
Double cross, but Mahari keeping right in step. Yusef Taha, Mintes, rebound, Gab Dagangon.
See how they made it very uncomfortable for Dave to even... Oh, what a pass!
Adi Santos no foul, but Raba Al-Husseini there to clean it up.
Oh my goodness, did you see that pass by Gab Dagangon? Wow!
Serrano gets blocked by Raba.
And you just continue to be amazed at the ball distribution of Basilan. That's another assist credited to them. That's their 13th assist against 5 only para dito sa Abra Weavers.
You know, credit the guards, Jeff Viernes and Jimboy Pastoran. They have really read the situation well off those pick and roll actions.
And what's important is the big men are actually cutting
Ayun.
and making themselves available for those roles.
Serrano gets in the paint. Over Al Husseini. Wala pa din. Tatakbo na naman dito ang Basilan. Cross-court pass. Dagangon. Catch and shoot free. No good. Ball ends up with Marwin Taiwan. Trying to turn the corner. Oh, great backdoor cut. Dave, though, can't convert. But Taha powers his way through, but losing it. Ball will go back with the Viva Port Masters.
Well, that cut by Dave Ildefonso was the right read. You get a corner runner of a drive down the middle. Boy, this is a close one right here, and Basilan is not budging.
Definitely came out to play. Rebounding story, +8 ang Basilan. And that has really triggered their fast break opportunities, but they turn the ball over, leads to this Encho Serrano basket.
And that's where they've really been making their living. Itong Abra Weavers, that's 12 points of turnovers already versus that of only 4 for Basilan. And so you gotta take good care of the ball if you're Basilan and not turn it over.
Mahari out of control on that drive. Abra a chance to tie or take the lead on this possession. Taiwan stop and pop jumper, nothing but nylon.
Really good read by Marwin Taiwan on that jumper. But I love in that sequence for Basilan that you got Raba Al Husseini actually playing good floor defense. Oh man.
Dave again on the run. He scores. 6-0 run for Abra. And it forces the Basilan coaching staff to call time here. And they find themselves down by 2.
And the Abra Weavers, on average, get 16 points of turnovers.
Fast break of the game brought to you by Extreme X Play on the go speaker. Take your music anywhere. Dave Ildefonso pouring in the points, already as 10. And we'll pause for a break. We'll be back for Basilan versus Abra.
Para sa 100% pag-unlad, 15 si Manny. Para sa 100% pagbabago, 15 si Manny. Para sa 100% paglilingkod, si Manny. Para sa 100% Pinas,
50 tayo! 50 si MV! Hati mo, si Manny!
special deal from 1xBet. Scan the QR code and claim your special offer. It's been a game of runs, Coach Mike.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Mainit ang aksyon. At merong pito ang ating game officials dito.
I think more on the timing of the inbounds from the backcourt. You were talking about this game being a game of runs. Points of turnovers ang gamit dito ng Abra Weavers to try and produce the points that they need. On average, they have 16 points of turnovers per game. In the first half alone, they have 14 right now, which means if you're Basilan, if you want to win this, you got to take good care of the ball and not turn it over.
Huling-huli yung tulak doon ni John Oduba. That was after Enzo Navarro got tied up and forced into a jump ball. Kaya napunta sa Abra yung bola on that trip. Pero babalik sa Basilan. A chance to tie or take the lead again. Approaching the 2-minute mark of the second period. Gab Dagangon got pushed, much to the disbelief of Abra here.
Oh yeah, that's tough. Because I felt, at least from what we're seeing on this side, that was a good, defense alongside Gab Dagangon by John Oduba. I don't know if he has an armbar inside that pushes against Gab. I couldn't see that, but if it's just, going to spots, halos magkatabi lang silang pumunta dun eh.
I think someone's gonna get warned here.
Yeah.
No, actually we have a coach's challenge from the Abra Weavers.
I think the one that they're looking at is, as you see Coach Yong pleading his case, just saying toe-to-toe lang si John Oduba against the Gab. See that?
We'll pause for a break. We'll be back for the result.
The challenge made by Abra is successful. There was no foul.
Successful challenge for the Abra Weavers, but one will stay on the side of Basilan.
Yeah, you see this right here. It really was just side by side, and it was Gab actually who had his arm hooked.
Dagangon, one-on-one against Dave.
Yeah.
Drag his pivot foot.
Right. And Dave is not gonna back down defensively against anyone, as much as he does the same thing on the offensive side of the ball.
Abra abante ng dalawa. Under 2 minutes remaining in the second quarter.
This one's interesting.
Serrano backing down the much smaller Pasturan. Kicks it out. Swing pass. Ildefonso. Three-pointer is good.
Very basic basketball. Dig in, paint touch, skip, swing. And Dave responds with a three.
Larupay in traffic. No. Ildefonso tried to save it. It will stay. No. Yeah, actually, it will stay with Basilan.
Right.
Cruz comes in. Short stint for Omar Larupay.
Yun yung magandang move oh. Once he saw that defense already committed, kicked it out to Marwin. Marwin just swings it over to the waiting hands of Dave for that three.
Already 13 points for Dave Ildefonso. Gab Dagangon tries to answer. That's a bit too short.
Iba-ibang runs. Tama ka dito sa laro na to. This time, it's Abra's turn for their run.
That was Jimboy getting one over Encho Serrano.
Alam mo, feeling ko nabulungan ni Adi Santos yun eh. Kasi yun ang mga paborito niyang depensahan eh, yung mga post-up, di ba? Sa pangalawang bunggo.
Oo.
You sell it.
And very very interesting lineup for Basilan. They have a 2-point guard lineup right now. And Enzo Navarro and Jimboy Pastoran.
Right.
Pero magda-downsize din naman dito si Coach Yong. And who comes Joshua David. Actually, hindi downsize to. 6'1" point guard.
Yeah, malaki to. At saka malakas ang katawan. Diba?
Yun yung luxury ng Abra.
Right. And you still have what? CJ Austria also on the lineup for them.
Pastoran against Taiwan. Pivots his way down the lane. No, tapik ni Adi Santos. Hindi gagana. Muntik na maagaw si Gab Dagangon. Tatakbo si Dave. Pasa kay Joshua David. Baka sa 3. Wala. Ball ends up with Dave Ildefonso. Nilabas muna papunta kay Marwin Taiwan. 34 seconds remaining. John Oduba. Pinabayaan tumira doon. Dave tried to save it but can't control his balance.
Yeah. John had the right thing in mind to go for a 2-for-1. But unfortunately, na-turnover nila yung bola. And so, maybe we'll have 2 more possessions. This one for Basilan, and the last say would have to be on Abra's side. Kasi ganun ka importante yung clock management eh. Pag, you know, you get a +1 in terms of offensive tries if you manage it really good towards the end of the quarters.
3.4 second differential between shot clock and game clock, but it will not matter because Pastoran commits a turnover.
Right. That was a good call by official
Jojo Bellas.
Jojo Bellas.
By the way, our referees for this ball game, Jojo Bellas, Francisco, we have Ramirez, and Tagyam.
This is going to be a series of drive and kicks, I'm telling you. 5 guards right in front, everyone can score. And this is going to be a spread defense, 1-on-1 to try and break down the defense.
Serrano contorts himself. Dave, multiple pump fakes, lays it up and in, plus a foul to beat the buzzer.
Oh, wow. You surround Dave Ildefonso with 4 very able scorers and a big man in Dave, really just athletic enough to try and chase for that ball, pump fake, new time and clock, finish with that finger roll.
Oh boy, Dave Ildefonso showing the effort and goes up strong. Lays it up and in over Jervy Cruz.
Tsaka yung lakas ng katawan eh, no? You know, you try to box him out, it's not that easy. And even if he rises up real quick, it's still going to be tough to hold him down. Oh my goodness.
Parang nakikita ko, meron din siyang parang blood, no? Inside the mouth.
Right.
I don't know if it's already there prior to the game.
Prior to that one, right.
Or prior to that play. And they're checking if there's still time left after that basket. Indeed, there was. A second to go.
Enough time for a heave. And you know how heaves have been here in the MPBL.
Walang sigurado po dito until the final second. Dave misses. And that's gonna do it for the first half. Pretty much a back and forth between these two teams. But Abra finishes the quarter on an 11-0 run after Basilan took the lead early in the second period.
Yeah, and Basilan kept in pace because of their defense and they got huge help off the bench.
At the half, Abra on top 39-32 over Basilan.
Para sa 100% pag-unlad, 15 si Manny. Para sa 100% pagbabago, 15 si Manny. Para sa 100% paglilingkod, 15 si Manny. Para sa 100% Pinas,
50 tayo! 50 si MP! Kahati mo, si Manny!
Para sa atletang Pilipino.
Para sa kabataang Pilipino.
Para sa kababaihan, para sa pamilyang Pilipino.
Para sa kinabukasan. At ito po ang MPBL Party List number 77 sa balota.
Welcome back to Maharlika Pilipinas Basketball League. It is halftime of our second game between the Abra Weavers and Basilan Portmasters. Our halftime score is 32-39 in favor of Abra Weavers. I'm Lyra Punsalan at kasama po natin ngayon ang team owner of Abra Weavers, Mayor JB Bernos, and of course the assistant coach of Basilan Portmasters, Chalito Caro. On to my left, we have, of course, Mayor JB Bernos. Mayor, with a solid set of players for Abra Weavers. Talagang solid na din yung teamwork na nabanggit nga kanina ni Encho. What is the vision for the team behind this?
Well, we've got a good core of players this season. Parang sing solid ng solid North. Ang vision namin for this season is malagpasan namin whatever na naabot namin last season. Malagpasan namin, and we're really serious po para dun sa championship. Yun yung goal talaga namin for this season.
Ano pong mensahe natin para sa mga taga-suporta ng Abra Weavers?
Well, keep on supporting the Abra Weavers. Maraming salamat sa suporta. Sana wag kayong magsawang sumuporta. I guess we've got a good chance for the championship this season.
Maraming salamat po, Sir Mayor JB Bernos from the municipality of La Paz in Abra, and also the team owner of Abra Weavers. And now to my right, we have the Basilan Portmasters assistant coach Chalito Caro. Coach, nabanggit mo kanina na naging edge talaga ng Basilan Portmasters ay yung pagtakbo na nila. How did you condition the players to have that passion and energy again?
Yes, of course. No, sabi ko nga kanina sa'yo na yes, pinaganda namin tong game na to. So nag-ensayo kami, prepare namin yung players namin, pinakondisyon ng strength and conditioning namin para at least makahabol naman kami at makatakbo naman kami ngayon.
May mga gusto po ba kayong pasalamatan?
Yes, of course. First of all, I would like to thank to all the Basileños, lahat ng mga taga-Basilan dyan. Please always supporting our team, Basilan, Viva Portmasters. And thank you to our boss Jackson Sua, and to all the Basileños, and to Mayor Joel Sataman.
Maraming salamat po. That has been the assistant coach of Basilan Portmasters, Chalito Caro. Magbabalik po ang Maharlika Pilipinas Basketball League.
Our score at the half, 32 for the Basilan Viva Port Masters, 39 for the Abra Solid North Weavers. And Abra finishing off this half on an 11-0 run. Kanina po lamang na yung Basilan by 4, 32-28, but the Weavers held them scoreless in the last 4 minutes.
Yeah, and if there's one thing that's actually done well by Basilan, aside from defending, it's really assisting and sharing the ball, finding the open man. They love to move the ball, man around. And so they got 4 more assists over them. But the bench has been pretty solid also for Basilan as they were able to get 11 points from Gab Dangagon as part of that 20-point output by the bench guys. And yung 13 turnovers forced on Basilan, to which Abra got 19. That one, to me, is pretty big, because if you continue to play that way and not be efficient and allow Abra to score freely on the other end, then you're gonna have a lot of things to change in the second half.
Dave Ildefonso brought in the Thunder early, had 2 posterizing dunks, I should say. And also finished the half with a putback for a total of 15 points. Mesmerize us with his stellar play as of late. But Basilan will have possession here to begin the third quarter. Gab Dagangon, that shot does not work.
Yeah. And I feel Basilan, outside of the run towards the end of the second quarter by the Abra Weavers, they're still in a good place.
Oh, that's a strong move off that pick and roll action by Raven Gonzalez.
And again, every time na you're involving as a role man itong si Raven Gonzalez, 90% of the time, he is gonna catch and float it. And so you have to be ready defensively.
5 on the floor for Basilan: Jimboy Pasturan, James Tempra, Gab Dagangon, John Mahari, and Jervy Cruz.
And you see Coach Rich Alvarez right there. See this beautiful roll man right here. He slips it, catches it, one dribble, attack the paint.
Assist of the game brought to you by 1xBet, the title sponsor of the MPBL. 1xBet, your choice, your victory. Feel more game with 1xBet.
6 points.
Sa panig naman ng Abra, Dave Ildefonso, Marwin Taiwan, Raven Gonzalez, CJ Austria, and Yusuf Taha. Turnover against the Weavers. Pagkakataon na makabalik itong Basilan. Pasturan whips it outside to Jervy Cruz against Yusuf Taha. Facing up, turns around. Shot on its way, no good. Rebound, Dave Ildefonso.
And yung lift action na yun na intended for Jervy Cruz, really nawala yung momentum kasi na-deflect yung ball. Good defense by Abra.
Taiwan against Jimboy Pasturan. Kicks it out. CJ Austria, jump shot, no good. Rebound ends up with Gab Dagangon. For Basilan. No, if you remember, as Jervy Cruz, again, third block already for Raven Gonzalez. Tempra losing the ball in the air. And now Abra on the run. Ildefonso crossover, lays it up and in. That's picture perfect from Dave.
I don't think there's many that can stop Dave Ildefonso. Full ahead of steam, left side of the floor, claims that spot even before you get to it. He's gonna score.
I was about to say, if you're Basilan, unti-unti na nila nahanap yung rhythm nila each and every game. But against San Juan, they were ahead already early in the third quarter. It was 38-29. Nag-run yung San Juan at di sila nakabalik. Ito yung gusto nilang iwasan laban dito sa Abra after they took the lead briefly in quarter number 2. As we check out this fast break of the game, brought to you by Extreme Cool Air Conditioners. Ang Extreme magpalamig, free insulation for split-type air conditioners.
And tsaka itong Abra is one of those teams that's very consistently scoring roughly in the 20s. As we see a good 3 right there. And Jimboy's gotta go back to that type of Jimboy Pastoral, knocking down threes, because it helps spread the floor and makes closeouts be generated for the Abra Weavers.
Lead down to 6, 43-37. Austria serving the floor. James Tempra switch on him.
Yeah, he's gonna take this one-on-one, break it down.
Austria way off on that shot.
Kung Basilan, you're happy with that?
Yeah.
That he rose and took that shot. Did not attempt to break down the defense. Oh, wow!
And you're certainly happy seeing Gab Dagangon knocking down those threes. Now has 14 points.
Oh, wow. Ang Gab Dagangon, he's 2 out of 4 from 3. Taiwan takes it back.
All net on that triple. Marvin Taiwan, how huge has he been for Abra this season?
Oh, Marvin Taiwan, 17 minutes per game, roughly about 7 points per game as well. It's the 4 assists that really helps the cause of Abra Weavers.
Taiwan down on the floor. Jervy Cruz, short stab, left it short.
Oh.
Ildefonso failed to control that rebound.
Unforced turnover there for the Abra Weavers. They really just lost that ball on the baseline. They were really ready to run the other way.
Apolonio comes back in for Abra. They're up by 6. Approaching the 6-minute mark of the third quarter. Gab Dagangon, able to roll that one through.
Where would Basilan be without Gab Dagangon? You don't have a kabagnot. You know, and Larupa hasn't scored so much in this game. I don't think he's seen action yet.
Yeah, actually late in the second quarter.
Late in the second, right? Pumasok siya.
Ildefonso fires. No. Great box out by Jervy Cruz.
And if you're gonna play the numbers, those are the shots that you are going to allow the Weavers to take if you're Basilan.
At the post, Gab Dagangon will be called for that offensive foul. Check out this play of the game brought to you by 1xBet, the title sponsor of the MPBL. 1xBet, your choice, your victory. Feel more game with 1xBet.
Parang piniso-piso lang yun eh. No?
Hindi nga tumalon eh.
Hindi tumalon eh. Pero again, yung halaga ng pagkakaroon ng control na pag-decelerate mo pagdating dun sa loob ng shaded area. Napangalaking bagay. Kahit pa mismatch at mas malaki yung bantay mo kasi may mga fake kang magagawa eh.
Ildefonso again, Mahari all over him. Taiwan against Pasturan, turns the corner, gets pushed on his way to the basket.
No, that was, to me, a tough defensive coverage. If I recall correctly, for Gab Dagangon in that corner. He had Apolonio in the corner with Marvin Taiwan driving that left side of the floor. He went in to dig and help against Marvin Taiwan. Fortunately for him, Marvin did not see Apolonio in the corner because otherwise, that would high probability been a make for Apolonio.
Pasok yung unang free throw ni Marvin Taiwan. This free throw brought to you by Extreme Appliances, ang subok at kumpletong appliance brand ng Pilipinas. Marvin Taiwan has certainly been impressive for the Abra Weavers.
Agree.
Actually, has really taken over that lead point guard role, no, para dito sa Abra.
Yeah, he's risen to the occasion.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Steal by Dave. On the run, Bahari tried to give chase. Ball will stay with the Abra Weavers.
Again, defensive, you're not happy with the turnover, but you're happy with the defensive effort of Basilan. 3 guys right there, the big men, Tempra, Mahari, and Jervy Cruz running to protect the paint, their side of the floor.
At kailangan nilang bantayan yan dahil Abra 23-6 edge in terms of points off turnovers. Ildefonso in and out on the 3. Ball on the floor. Apolonio comes away with it. Nilabas muna kay Dave Ildefonso. Taiwan on the left side. Drives right.
Oh, wow.
Try to whip a pass to Gonzalez. Turnover against Abra.
One of the very few times you see Raven not ready for that catch. He's always ready for that catch.
Basilan down by just 6 points. Pasturan, solid minutes for the Viva Port Masters. Pull-up jumper by Jimboy. Short rebound, Yusuf Taha.
Gotta give it back.
Tatakbo na naman dito ang Abra. Skip pass to Jason Apolonio. Catch and shoot 3. Bounces off the rim. Gab Dagangon in transition. Sidestep against Dave. In and out.
Ganda, no?
Nakita mo yung kumpiyansa, no? Ni Gab Dagao.
Dave Ildefonso yung kaharap niya.
The lob!
There you go.
Gonzalez scores plus a foul!
There you go. That's what I was talking about. That sequence when Raven lost that handle earlier, he wasn't ready for that catch. But every time you locate him, he's gonna catch it.
This was a great screen by Yusuf Taha.
Yeah. And then that happened because Jervy Cruz got preoccupied with Dave Ildefonso trying to drive that left side of the floor. We talked about gaano kalakas ang katawan ni Dave doon sa part na yon ng floor. And Raven right now is, hopefully it's nothing on his left ankle.
Caught in no man's land si Jervy doon because mayroong roller in Yusuf Taha. And then yun nga, yung love threat in Raven Gonzalez. It ended up with a Gonzalez basket.
At saka kung tatanungin, bakit tumulong pa si Jervy? You know, there are different guys already in there. Well, it's because Dave Ildefonso, for the most part, has successfully gotten past the primary defense, gotten past the secondary defense, and scored on the recovery defense. And so, talagang inabangan lang ng tag ni yun eh.
LGR is the official outfitter of the MPBL. Pasok yung bonus free throw ni Raven Gonzalez. Tapping nga muna siya dito. Papasok sa loob si Alfred Batino.
Raven hasn't missed on the field yet.
Yeah.
It's 4 out of 4.
Tapos tatlong block shots pa. Rabal Husseini returns for Basilan. Enzo Navarro. Dangerous pass. Almost a turnover. Al Husseini.
Good pass.
Good fake. Basket and one for John Mahari.
Boy. And immediately you see Coach Rich Alvarez, you know, acknowledging that effort by Raba Al Husseini. First, for going after that loose ball. Second, for staying in control. And third, for finding a diving John Mahari underneath for the better percentage shot.
Ramdam mo, Coach Mike, iba yung demeanor talaga ngayon ng Basilan.
Oo.
Hindi natataranta.
Oo.
Abra has been making their runs. But Basilan just keeping in step right in there. Navarro, though, could not connect on the free.
And that's because Basilan believes that they're close to that next win every time they take on the floor.
Taha in traffic. Al Husseini.
Wow.
All over him, but Taha able to will that one through for his first 2 points of the ball game.
A couple of sequences where the big man actually performed on both ends of the floor. Raba and Taha.
Mancalo. Oh, great pass. Mahari all day to shoot. Can't get it to go. But Calo right there. Fadeaway jumper is pure.
Mancalo. Sure, he only got 2 points in the first half. Pero yung DN yun ang nagugustuhan mo sa kanya.
Great cut. Inside points plus 10 ang Abra Weavers kontra Basilan. Tatakbo dito si Eman Calo. Kick out pass. And a foul will be whistled against the Abra Weavers.
And they were telling Eman to either finish or pass it a little bit earlier. They had numerical advantage right there. So 3 versus 2. Shooters were running wide. And Eman Calo really chose to drive inside and kicked it out only when that whistle got blown.
James Tembra, magpapahingahin muna dito.
Yeah, right.
In comes Adi Santos.
Yep, rightfully so. I mean, James Tempra, I tell you, he's given quality minutes for Coach Rich Alvarez, and you pull in an Adi Santos.
Ganda. May carbon copy yan.
Oh.
Yung sa kaliwete lang.
Totoo.
Hook shot by Raba Al Husseini is successful. Basilan down by 5, 53-48.
This is going to be a game of composure. I mean, each team is going to have their own run. He who stays composed most probably would win this.
That pass thrown out of bounds by Dave Ildefonso. Bola babalik sa Viva Port Masters.
5 na lang to.
2 minutes remaining in the third. Navarro against Taiwan. Turnovers natin 16 for Basilan, 12 naman para sa Abra.
Oh man!
That was vintage Raba Al-Husseini.
Raba Al-Husseini.
Joshua David answers with a mid-range jumper of his own.
We've seen this game in a lot of runs. Defensive stops, offensive efficiency. And this is a good run here in the third quarter. Oh, ball stolen.
David
no.
Deponso gets bumped. Ooh!
Ooh!
Unsportsmanlike foul against Sherwin Concepcion, but they will review this.
Right, they gotta review this. They're gonna check if there was a play on the ball.
Because Dave Ildefonso was in a full head of steam there, going to the basket.
Well, actually parang inagahan ni Dave yung take-off niya eh. Kaya medyo nawala rin sa timing yung pagsabay. Was it Sherwin?
Yeah, Sherwin.
Medyo nawala rin eh.
Coach Melo Navarro seeking an explanation. Ito yun.
Let's see that. Oh yeah.
What do you think, Coach Mike?
I think that's gonna stand. Yeah. That's gonna stand.
What's your interpretation on that last play?
If I got this correctly, I think this is category 3 in the unsportsmanlike, where you've got an offensive player that's got a clear advantage to the rim, an open floor, and you foul him. Some officials call that the big man foul, where you try and foul a team that has a possible fast break to stop them and not get an advantage. And so exactly that's what happened.
Swak na swak yung unang free throw ni David Defonso. Ooh, technical foul against Basilan.
Oh man. Oh, we talked about composure earlier. Guys got to settle down here.
Ang tanong, sino?
Number 25, Renzo Navarro, for disrespectfully addressing the game official.
Yeah, si Enzo.
So Dave, with an additional free throw, pasok yung kanyang unang dalawa.
64% free throw shooter.
But again, in this last 3 games, 80%.
Yeah.
He has really adjusted to the MPBL brand of basketball.
He adjusted to a level that is so much better than how he started this season.
This is a potential 5 to 6 point swing for Abra.
Basilan, oh, that's a travel right there. Yeah, clear. That's a travel.
At wala pang nakakalamang ng double digit sa laro po ito. Biggest lead was at 9 points by Abra earlier.
That was a travel because he jabbed with the left, then he lifted his right foot. So that, you can't do that. You can't lift your pivot.
Nasa loob na si Encho Serrano for the Abra Weavers. 66 seconds remaining in the third quarter.
And they want to clear out here. They feel they've got an advantage with Batino against Raba.
Al-Husseini. Kick out pass. Calo, quick catch and shoot. No, Serrano ends up with the basketball. Under a minute remaining. Joshua David.
They want to clear.
Feels like he has the size advantage over Enzo Navarro. Batino in traffic. Ooh, a foul after Oduba went for that shot.
Ito yung kombinasyon ng big man ni coach yung na mobile na mga big men. I talk about John Oduba and Batino. Sure, you give up a lot of height of Batino versus Raba, but feet work, medyo advantage ka rin doon.
Second consecutive season na rin ito, no? Ni John Oduba for... Actually, hindi. He played for Paranaque for the past couple of seasons. And then here, now finding himself with the Abra Weavers. 1 out of 2 on the line, matching their biggest lead at 9 points.
And Oduba, I feel, is from point production, He's better than his normal, just 2 points per game. I
Yeah.
think he's good for roughly about 8 per game. Pero yung nagkaroon kasi siya ng injury early so that might slow it down.
Dito may bench points Plus 15 ang Basilan, 32 to 17. And majority of those coming from Gab Dagangon, who already has 16.
But 3 guys actually. It's Gab Dagangon, Tempra, and Jervy Cruz.
Pastoran as well contributing for Basilan, but now they're finding themselves in a bit of a funk. Abra has a chance to end the quarter with a double-digit advantage. 8 seconds remaining.
Shake action with Dave.
Kick out. Joshua David. Get back in the free. Oduba. Tapigan ng bola. And third quarter comes to an end. Basilan standing their ground on that last possession, but they still have a lot of work left to do. Abra threatening to pull away here as we check out the highlights of the game, brought to you by Sip Plus, the official hydration partner of the MPBL. Elevate your hydration.
And really just better rebounding by Basilan. It brought them real close. They had, 12 offensive rebounds already in this game. And plus the really good contributions from the bench of Gab Dagangon. And I feel they did a good job of defending the length of the floor. There was a time when Dave really just started taking over, but keeping in step, keeping in poise itong Basilan.
We head into the fourth quarter. Abra ahead over Basilan by 9, 59 to 50.
Para sa 100%'ong pag-unlad, 15 si Manny. Para sa 100%'ong pagbabago, 15 si Manny. Para sa 100%'ong paglilingkod, 15 si Manny. Para sa 100%'ong Pinas,
50 tayo! 50 si MB! Kahati mo, si Manny!
Our fans in attendance inside the Paco Arena in Manila as we check out our fan outfit of the game. And she certainly is enjoying this back and forth action that we've had between Basilan and Abra. The Weavers find themselves ahead by 9 points to begin the fourth quarter. They have the possession. Nasupalpal si CJ Austria from behind. Quarter scoring natin ganyan po kadikit. 2017 Abra first quarter. Plus 4 sila nung second, 19-15. Plus 2 lang din naman sila nung third, 20 to 18.
And so Basilan is actually doing a good job of just keeping it real close to 20. Nothing over 20 per quarter para dito sa Abra Weavers. Encho's favorite shot.
This is the first taste of a double-digit spread para dito sa Abra, 61-50.
Oh, wow.
Fairness, that ball poked loose. Joshua David turns defense into offense.
Good execution on that offense, on that push shot from the elbow by Encho Serrano. And then a quick turnover, which results in another point off of it for Abra.
Jeff Viernes, Jervy Cruz, Rabal Husseini, Eman Calo, Sherwin Concepcion, the 5 on the floor for Basilan.
Wow.
Eman Calo able to break loose.
You talk about, the speed of the footwork of Eman Calo, but how about that off-leg, jump?
Austria, Alfred Batino, Encho Serrano, Joshua David, and John Oduba naman para sa Abra. Serrano, wala. Batino, up fake.
Good defense.
It's blocked. Ball will stay with the Weavers.
And Jeff is asking for a review. They're gonna challenge this. See this footwork right here.
Yeah. Ooh, gliding in the air was Eman Calo on that play.
Literally a skywalker for Eman Calo.
Bola ng Basilan.
Yeah. Sure look like it. Na bola ng Basilan.
Dapat magcha-challenge na sila eh. Pero ang nangyari ngayon,
nagcha-challenge yung Abra.
Oo.
Right.
Kasi initial call was their ball,
Right.
then they reversed it to Basilan. So Coach Yong Garcia asking for a challenge. We'll wait the result We'll be right back.
The review for the challenge was inconclusive and it has been nullified. We will stand on the last call. Basilan.
Inconclusive yung challenge, no? Nung huli. Let's see here. Was it fight? Yeah. Mabilis eh.
Mabilis, oh. Pero may mga bagay talaga sa buhay na inconclusive.
Tayo dyan.
Tayo dyan. Okay.
Mancalo. Hindi natuldukan yung possession na yun with a 3. Pupunta ang bola sa Abra. Skip pass. CJ Austria with a running start. Gets blocked by Gab Dagangon. David will settle the troops down.
Shake action.
Turns the corner. Batino. Hip check. Basket and 1. Pinagpak lang yung depensa ni Mancalo.
I want you to look at how potent that set was. Driving middle, the initiator of the offense is Encho Serrano. You know he can put that ball on the floor and drive inside, do a float shot or a jumper. You've got a big man rolling in Batino, and then you've got a corner guy that's lifting in, was that Joshua David? Either way, you're gonna score.
Now, quote, itong Basilan, no? Going deep into their bench, inserting Omar Larupay. Ooh, that's a careless turnover against Basilan.
Yeah.
Already their 19th.
Right. The pass was way ahead for Jimboy Pasteran, and he couldn't see it because a taller Joshua David was defending against him.
Larupay. Sumugal leads to Batino getting a free run to the rim but can't convert. Mancalo, sidestep, lays it up and in.
What a footwork. I mean, you've seen every footwork that is from Mancalo tonight.
8 points.
If I'm Mancalo, I'm putting that in my highlight. All my feet work tonight.
But they still find themselves down by 12 points, 66-54. Serrano swings it to CJ Austria.
Oh, that's an offensive foul, clearly.
Yep, dip his shoulder against Gab Dagangon.
Yeah. He had a baseline already for him to claim. And he was running out of space and he had to create that space with that push.
Assist of the game brought to you by 1xBet, the title sponsor of the MPBL. 1xBet, your choice, your victory. Feel more game with 1xBet.
Yeah, and that swing step going the left side of the floor just allowed Mancalo to finish. Oh no.
Again, turnovers have been killing the comeback attempt of Basilan, leading to more turnover points for the Abra Weavers.
You know what? Through 6 games, Basilan is the better steals team. They average roughly about 8. Basilan averages about 6. Abra averages about 6. Tonight, it's a total of 11 steals already for the Weavers. Over that of only 3 for Basilan.
Foul against Abra after Jervy Cruz tried to put that back in.
And you just have so much respect for these players. I mean, They are literally playing their hearts out in this game. This is playoff mode-like, if you ask me. Surely, if you meet these teams once in the regular season, you want to test where you are because once you get into the playoffs, that's a different story altogether.
Lalo ito, North versus South Division matchup.
Correct.
The only way you could meet again after this one is
National
sa
finals na, right.
Oo. Jervy Cruz, sabla yung unang free throw. The 2006 MVP. And we saw the two-time UAP MVP, Coach Rich Alvarez.
Oo naman.
Actually, 4 sa kanila. Former UAP MVPs. 3 nun player, isa coach. Arwin Santos, Jervy Cruz, Raba Aloseni, as Coach Rich Alvarez.
Right. Spain action right here.
Ildefonso gets some space but can't connect on the three.
If there is one shot that you're allowing, Encho for 3.
Wala pa din.
And if there's one shot that you're gonna allow the Abra Weavers to take, Devil Defonso taking a 3. You're fine with that.
Magangon. Bounce inside. Oh, what a great look. Oh, Mahari could not make the shot, but he gets fouled.
And that's why John is there for Basilan. Yung control, yung poise, very heralded player, a part of that Zamboanga team.
Yeah. This is only his 3rd game though for Basilan. After he had 13 points in their opening game and that loss against Rizal, missed the next 4 before coming back versus Bulacan. Pero ito, finil din ulit siya dito. Pero medyo nagsastruggle siya, no? Only 3 points.
Right.
Bakers doesn't lead for Abra, 68-55. Colliding there was Mahari and Uduba. 3-point shot of Joshua David off the mark. Dagangon sets his feet, fires, no! Tatakbo ditong Abra. Encho.
Ibang klase yung dinipensa ni Jimboy doon. He kept in pace with Encho.
Let's really stop that sure fast break layup supposedly for Encho. But they could not finish at the rim. Talking about Basilan, bagsak si Gab Dagangon.
Ganda ng effort.
The cut, Mahari kicks it out. Jervy Cruz for 3. No! Fight for the ball. Tied up is Gab Dagangon and Alfred Batino.
That'll be Basilan ball. That'll be Basilan ball.
Walang gusto magpakawala ng bola dito. It's been that type of a game. Slobber knocker. Both teams not giving an inch. Basilan something to prove. Abra so far have converted 29 points off the 20 turnovers of Basilan. That's been the major story of this ball game.
Right. And that's pretty much where they got a lot of their points from. And really just taking advantage of mistakes committed by Basilan.
And Basilan beginning to miss from the field. Still a lot of time left. Face uses Alfred Batino. Spins away. Napunta sa Basilan ng bola. Still a lot of time.
Yep.
Approaching the halfway point of the 4th quarter. Gab Dagangon. Bounce pass inside. Larupay. Wala. Tapik ni Mahari ay pasok. John Mahari, 5 points off the bench.
And that tip in by John Mahari happened because he ran the baseline from the weak side, anticipating a pass on that backdoor cut. Didn't get it, really just stuck it in.
It was a great 2-man action. Although Larupay could not finish, pero nandun yung kanyang teammate, John Mahari, able to tip that back up and in. Pero Basilan naghahabol, down by 11. 4 minutes and 55 seconds remaining here in the fourth quarter. And check out this Gixxer fan of the game, born for greatness. Dave Ildefonso, double figures naman in all of their games, but his previous season career high in the MPBL, I should say, was 17 points. But tonight, 20 points, sama mo pa dyan, 8 rebounds. At pwede pa niyang dagdagan yan from the free throw line after getting fouled.
Ang impressive dun is yung 8 rebounds niya, may 3 offensive rebound pa. 2 assists and 2 steals. Played the most minutes amongst everyone on the floor. 30 minutes. And having only 1 foul.
"21 points, 6 out of 8 shooting from the line. Foul will be called against Abra. It will go against John Oduba. Lalabas muna si John Oduba at Alfred Patino. In comes the 2 tall, lanky players of Coach Yong Garcia, Raven Gonzalez and Yusuf Taha. Pasturan. Dagangon losing it. Ildefonso behind the back, but he thought Joshua David was there trailing him.
I gotta rise up.
Pasturan takes that free, but can't make them pay.
Yeah, that's the shot you want him to take because he is Jimboy Pastoran.
Could have cut this lead down to 9 points.
Right. Time's not on their side, and so they gotta be very efficient. Speaking of Basilan.
Encho against Omar Larupay. The spin, the floater, no! Tempra, skies high for the rebound. Under 4 minutes remaining. Basilan down by 12.
Gotta be really efficient here.
Larupay, short stab,
There you
good!
go. Yeah.
First 2 points of the ball game for Omar Larupay, who came off that 20-point, 18 rebound outing against Bulacan.
Ang gustuhan mo doon is konti lang yung nagamit na oras. Nakapunto sila kagad. Ngayon, kailangan mo dumepensa kung ikaw ang
screen
Basilan.
by Yusuf Taha. Three-pointer!
Oh, wow.
Knocked down by Dave Ildefonso.
And we said earlier, goods ka na pag trumipoint si Dave, pero he knocks it down when it's needed.
24 points. And gets the block
wow.
against John Mahari. 72-59. Abra looking good.
In 3 of the last 4 sequences for the Weavers, it all had the hand of Dave Ildefonso in it.
That's a bit too tight of a pass. Mahari goes right at Dave. Gets it in, plus a foul. John Mahari fearless to the basket.
And Dave can't believe that. And you're right. That was a fearless drive by John Mahari. Went right through the defense of Dave. Argument could be, was he moving defensively? I think yun ang perspective ng officials natin. But Dave didn't like that call.
Basilan, tingnan nyo yung lineup. Very small compared to the big front line ng Abra.
Yeah.
Mahari, James Tempra, Gab Dagangon, Eman Calo, and Jimboy Pasturan going up against Yusuf Taha, Raven Gonzalez, Dave Ildefonso, Marwin Taiwan, and Encho Serrano.
I'm involving Raven off ball every time right here. Watch out for Raven.
Ildefonso, lintes yung kanyang dress. One and done by Abra. Pagkakataon para dito sa Basilan. Gab sets his feet but can't convert. Ball ends up with Encho Serrano.
Nice move. Very smart move.
Pulls it back out to Marwin Taiwan. Lead still at 10 points. 72-62 for Abra. Taiwan hands it off to Ildefonso. Takes another free.
Man.
Oh my goodness, Dave Ildefonso just pouring it on for the Weavers.
Ken, he's 2 out of 3 on his last 3 attempts. We kept on saying earlier, if you're Basilan, you're better off with Dave taking threes. But boy, He's proven everyone wrong.
Pasturan, nilabas, Mahari. Short on the free. The reverse is blocked by Taha. Abra will milk the clock here. 1 minute and 30 remaining in the fourth quarter. Dave Ildefonso.
We're gonna go spread here on the middle ball screen on a 2-for-1.
He's feeling it. That one pops out though. Bola babalik sa Basilan.
And they're gonna review this.
Under 2 minutes na tayo.
Yep. Pero kita mo yung ano no? We talked about this being a game of composure. Basilan really did keep their poise, but just better shot making for the Abra Weavers.
CJ Austria comes back in. Si Dave Ildefonso, magpapahinga muna. No, actually si Raven Gonzalez yung lalabas. John Oduba comes in as well. So they will go small here. Itong Abra din. Labas yung dalawang bigs nila, si Gonzalez at si Yusuf Taha. .73 seconds remaining in regulation. Basilan down by 13.
And this is a huge deficit to climb with that much remaining time on the clock.
Although still a sliver of hope naman para dito sa Vivaport Masters.
But again, babalik ka dun sa dapat quick scoring and efficient field goal making.
Calo will bring the ball down for Basilan against Encho Serrano. Concepcion offering that screen. Calo, tough shot over CJ, making it look easy.
That up screen involving Sherwin Concepcion. Good move by Basilan. Quick 2 para dito sa kanilang team.
Lead still at 11 though. Serrano will burn some time here for the Abra Weavers. One-on-one against Sherwin Concepcion. Paasa kay Marwin Taiwan. Short. Concepcion gets the rebound. Time not on Basilan's side. 38 seconds to go. Concepcion.
Travel, right?
Traveled. Pretty unfortunate if you're Basilan.
Yeah. He was going the left side of the floor. All the help was there, and so he had to shift going middle. But as he was doing that, traveled.
Well, what about Abra? That loss to Pasay. Well, probably there were questions on whether or not they could really contend. But boy, they've answered that in resounding fashion, Coach Mike.
Right.
Their next 3 games, and here in their 4th one, the coming out party of Dave Ildefonso.
It'll be interesting on how the rotations would look like if they did have Alex Cabagnor. Because I'm sure in those stretches where they needed someone to take over scoring-wise, especially when Eman Calo was down because of the 3 personal fouls, Alex would have made the difference. But, it is tough how the Abra Weavers have really made them pay every time that they make mistakes.
And now we check out our best player of the game, brought to you by 1xBet, the title sponsor of the MPBL. 1xBet, your choice, your victory. Feel more game with 1xBet, and this guy pretty much did everything for Abra tonight, Coach Mike.
Yeah, panibagong career high, 27 points, 34 minutes on the floor, and a 9 of 19 field goal shooting. He was 3 of 9 from threes, was 6 of 8 from the free throw, and boy, those 10 rebounds and 2 assists, just total overall contributions when it mattered most for Dave Ildefonso.
And he has electrified the crowd once again, this time here in the Paco Arena in Manila. Our final score, 64 for the Basilan Vivaport Masters, 75 for the Abra Solid North Weavers. Now we turn you over to Miss Naira Punsalan.
I'm with the best player of the game, Dave Ildefonso of Abra Weavers with 27 points. Dave, first of all, congratulations on your new MPBL career high performance at 4th consecutive best player of the game honors mo na today. How do you stay grounded and still find ways to improve?
bago ko i-answer yung question mo, gusto ko sabihin thank you to Burlington and thank you also to Boss JB Bernos for watching the game. And I just want to say sa Basilan fans and sa Basilan team, grabe, good challenge kayo, good game, and maraming salamat kasi nakaka-up kayo ng competitive spirit. And sa mga, sorry, answer ko yung question mo. I stay grounded by, listening only to my parents, and I just try to stay humble as much as I can. And I just try to keep working.
And with the way you're playing, talagang binibigyan mo kami ng highlights in every game. At hindi nagpapaawat ang mga growing fan base mo sa pagbibigay ng suporta. Ano pang gusto mong maipakita sa kanila?
Gusto ko mapakita sana na makapadala pa ako ng panalo para sa Abra and para sa mga Abra Weavers fans. And gusto ko lang batiin yung nano lalaki, nano babae ko nanonood ngayon. And Selena yung girlfriend ko. Hello, and yun lang.
Thank you so much to our best player.
Sorry. Pastor Ferdy. Hello. And sa Better Basketball Community, Coach Ito, Coach Paul, Coach Kel, Coach Pat. Kita tayo bukas. Sorry.
Thank you so much to our best player of the game, Dave Ildefonso of Abra Weavers. Our best player of the game is brought to you by 1xBet, the title sponsor of the MPBL. 1xBet, your choice, your victory. Feel more game with 1xBet. Back to you, Ken and Coach Mike.
Naihabol pa ni Dave, but congratulations to the very ecstatic Dave Ildefonso and the Abra Weavers notching their 5th straight victory, or actually 4th straight victory. Up next, Bulacan versus Pasig for our last game of our Friday triple header. So keep it here on Manny Pacquiao's Maharlika Pilipinas Basketball League, ang liga ng bawat Pilipino.